If that's what you say, I wasn't worried back then. I'm like, ain't nobody gonna look at that little skinny thing and be like, they want that.
You know, but, okay, skinny was in. Okay, skinny was in.
No.
All right. Okay, I still got hit on a lot. Thank you. But anyways.
Yeah, because you dress as sexy. You see? Prove my point. All right. Well, thank you for talking to this podcast, people. Hey, what's going on? It's your man, Cas
and Bell.
And we're here for another episode of Divorce Not an Option, where we talk about relationships and marriage and things to do to keep you together and keep it going. All right, baby. So what are we talking about today?
Yeah, so today there's an interesting topic that's being discussed in regards to, I guess, dress to impress. If you think that your husband or potential husband, rather, would be insecure if their, person dresses too sexy.
Oh, okay.
So I thought it'll be a topic kind of to discuss.
Okay. Well, several times I have seen outfits you wear out in the public for them streets, and I've been very insulted as your husband. So yes, you know what? These women out here in the streets dressing sexy, and you know what? Us good husbands at home, you know what I'm saying, in our moderate dress, trying to not show the world our stuff, but our wives are out there just being what they call floozies.
A floozy, really. So
bring out that old school word, floozy.
Okay, so this is how. So if the woman dresses too, sexy or provocative in a sense, now she's known as a floozy, aka a whore for the streets.
I didn't say whore. I said. I'm
just saying that's the old school term floozy. That's basically what it means, right? A loose woman. So
I mean, floozy could mean a lot of things,
right?
But seriously, I think this is an interesting topic because I think a lot of times people don't talk about a lot of things in relationships. Even before people get married, they don't talk about expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe when it comes to dress, especially for a female in a relationship, it's an expectation. Because see, I think as men, we understand our idea of a woman comes from immediately when we see her.
Mm-hmm.
And from that experience as guys have, we try to let our wives know, okay, it's not about, and most of the time, I know there are men out there that are very jealous and insecure and stuff like that. That's one thing. But most of the time, it's not about a man being insecure or anything. It's about a man knowing other men
mm-hmm.
and trying to protect his woman. Because to a man, unfortunately, certain men, the way a woman dresses opens the door for various approaches.
Okay.
And as men, we know that, we understand that. And through our experience, when a woman is dressed that way,
mm-hmm.
it usually does mean that those ideas we have of her are usually true.
Interesting.
So, when we are with our woman and we, because I know for me, and I don't mind if you dress sexy, provocative with me when we're out. Even though depending still
mm-hmm.
on the situation where we go, and I still may say let's tone it down,
mm-hmm.
but I'm there to protect.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're by yourself, regardless of this equal rights, everybody's saying that men and women are equal. At the end of the day, a woman is in danger if a man that's too aggressive tries to come on to her and put, have his way or touch her in any appropriate way or try to force something, So it's really, to me, when a man talks to a woman about toning down her dress, a real man, not these little boys, I'm talking about real man, is not doing it because he's insecure. He's doing it because he wants to protect his woman and he understands the threats that are out there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's a good approach to it from a man's perspective. I think from a woman's perspective, I should wear anything I want to wear. You can't control me. Okay, but are you a woman? I just think from a woman's perspective. I didn't know. I didn't know. Are you playing dual roles now?
No,
are you confused? I don't know. Right?
I'm not confused. No. I'm on one side of the spectrum. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So no, I mean, for a woman, I think when we're with our husband, we do want to dress kind of sexy, yeah, I will, dress sexy a lot of times. I'm not gonna, be covered up like this all the time. And a lot of times I'm not but then again, before my husband met me, I would always dress, a little bit sexy. I mean,
Uh,
I always wore my short shorts, and
no.
he did complain like, "Hey, don't you think that's a little too
You was
short?"
like this. You was like this back in the day. Now I'm
But
worried. But
just
back
because
then you was like this.
I was
You was a stick.
108 pounds,
You was
all
a
right,
stick. So
but I
it,
still had a little body,
sexy,
right?
sexy was showing skin. There was no sexiness
To me, it was sexy.
to you.
To
But
me, it don't matter if I was showing my little, skinny body and stuff. It was still sexy, right?
I mean,
Anyways,
if that's what you say. I wasn't worried back then. I'm like, ain't nobody gonna look at that little skinny thing and be like, they
really,
want that.
okay, skinny was in. Okay, skinny was in.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I still got hit on a lot. Thank you. But anyways,
Yeah, because you dress as sexy. You see? Prove my point. All right. Well, thank you for
Anyways,
talking to this podcast, people. You proved the point.
I did not prove any point. I did not prove any
Okay,
point.
okay.
I prove, but I think there is a difference. So I think when you're, out there, and if you are, you guys are going on dates, and again, you're not married yet, but you're going on dates or whatever, and you want to dress a little bit, sexy for him, that's your idea. I think you should, but then, it depends where you're going as well. So if you're going to a classy restaurant or upscale restaurant, then you may not want to wear a two-piece that's going to show everything. You want to kind of tone it down a little, you could still be sexy covered up. I mean, I don't understand, if you're wearing full clothes that you can't be sexy. There's beautiful tight dresses, tight skirts, tight pants. There's all of that would still show your curves and your sexiness without actually being naked. So again, if you're going to a classy restaurant, all depends where you're going. But if your man is insecure with the way that you're dressed, and it's got constant conversation, then I don't know, would that be insecure with him? Because he feels a certain way.
Well, I think the insecurity comes to I think when a man is insecure, he's scared that another man is
Mm-hmm.
going to take you away. So he doesn't want other men to see you because
Mm-hmm.
he's scared that a man may come because you're dressed,
Mm-hmm.
approach you, and then you may go with him.
Right.
When a man see, but that insecurity shows that he doesn't have trust for you.
Yeah.
He doesn't have confidence in himself as a
Mm-hmm.
man. So if that is the reason why a man doesn't want you to dress sexy or provide whatever, then that relationship is you have more problems than
Right.
just
Than what you're wearing.
exactly what you're wearing. But I think a lot of times in relationship people get it confused.
Mm-hmm.
I think now the modern day woman's idea is that every time a man tries to check her on something, it's because he's insecure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a fallacy. That is not true. Because at the end of the day, your man, if he's a real man, if he's a good man, he's just trying to protect you. He knows the dangers out there. It's like when a man wears sweats.
Mm-hmm.
Are you scared that your man's gonna give it to some other girl, or some other girl's gonna look at what you got and
Right.
want him? Most women are gonna say, "Oh, well, he's gonna look at how big daddy, how big it is, and want him."
Exactly.
You're not gonna say you don't say that because you think your man is gonna,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you like this big old, I'm gonna whip it out. No, you
Right.
think like some other woman's gonna see it and say,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh wow, look at that package," and then she's gonna come on to him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing with a man. It's a lot of times women can understand things they do, but they don't understand on the other side. And the exact same thing. I'm afraid that my woman's gonna be looking really good out there, provocative, and her outfit's gonna invite something, and it's gonna be the wrong approach by a man to her because of that. Just like if a woman sees that, that figure,
Mm-hmm.
a woman's gonna say, "Ooh, yeah, come on to him."
Right. Right.
So I think it comes down to the relationship you're in, and I think you should have a discussion with your wife or your husband regarding on dress on both ends,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel that at the end of the day, that communication will save a lot of time, headache, arguments, and future complications, because now you understand the expectation of your husband and your wife. You understand what they expect from you and what you expect from them. So now when you get dressed, you know what I'm saying? It's even thing to say, "Hey, babe, what do you think about this?" And it's not controlling, because I think a lot of women want to not be controlled so much that they take it overboard, that they think just their man suggesting, oh, I don't like you wearing that, is him controlling that. Men should say, whatever a woman want to do, it is fine with me without that. But everyone wants a man to protect.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And part of me protecting is understanding the threats out there.
Mm-hmm.
And a man is not operating thinking that every day the threats is going to attack you, but the man is protecting you to minimize the possibility of those threats. If I know for a fact as a man, if you are wearing a see-through shirt with just some pasties on your titties, and then you want to go out, hang out in the club that night, I already know what type of attention you're going to get that night. You're not going to get the attention of very nice young men that's going to open the door for you and say, hey, thank you, ma'am. You all that. No, you're going to get the guy that sees those titties and say, oh, I want to suck on those breastises, and then he's going to be all up in your face trying to get a rub.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then I think a lot of women don't understand. You put your man in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Because if a man's bold enough to run up on you and do all that extra shit, and your man comes talking about, yo, chill, he may be a crazy dude with a gun, or he just don't care.
Yeah, people are crazy.
Now
out
your
there.
man out there fighting because you wanted to wear your see-through shirt when you probably shouldn't. Now you want your man to protect you, and now your man out there fighting some dudes that took it too far, and that dude may have a gun, because you know how it is nowadays. It's not like back in the days people handled their problem with their fists. People be packing, people be, having stuff on them.
Yeah.
And then now your man out there fighting and got shot.
Mm-hmm.
Or got jumped by that dude and his boys because you're wearing something that's provocative. Now, yeah, granted, those guys are bad guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to excuse their behavior. But at the end of the day, if you could minimize possibilities, it's like crossing the street. You don't cross the street blind and then get mad when you get hit by a car.
Mm-hmm.
No, you look both ways. You take every precaution not to get hit. And sometimes you still can get hit.
Right.
But at least you did everything you could crossing that street. Only time you got hit was because some guy wasn't following the rules, came out of nowhere, was speeding. All right, cool. But you did everything on your end to protect yourself. And that's what women don't understand when it comes to that. A man's not trying to control you. He's just trying to protect you.
Okay. I mean, that's a good for women to understand, because I think a lot of times, when the man, I mean, especially in our relationship too, I mean, I'm talking about, throughout our entire relationship, like, again, I'll dress, very sexy to go out with my girlfriends and everything, and you'll be like, whoa, babe, what are you wearing? Is that a t-shirt? I'm like, no, that's not a t-shirt. That's my outfit.
See, men think when you got the long shirt, right? See, men's imagination is like, yo, sure, you can have some nice shorts under there, but if the shirt is long and you just see legs, guys go,
yeah, so you like, babe, come on.
Yo, and the true story, right after my wife had our second child, our daughter, we went out. My wife she hasn't been out in a long time because she was pregnant. She hasn't been out in a long time, right? So I'm out, with my wife, we hanging out, whatever. And so I'm with my wife. She's obviously all night on me, right? All night she's on me. This dude looks at me, you know what I'm saying? He gives me the props, you know what I'm saying? The props for, having a good looking woman. I'm like, thank you, appreciate that, All right, cool. We do that sometimes, man. We see a dude, he with his girl, all right, no problem. And that's it. So I'm sitting down on the couch. My wife is a little bit beside me. She, doing, how girls do a little by herself wine, you know what I'm saying? So this dude looks at her. I'm like, I'm like, yeah, yep, that's me. Obviously all night, And then this nigga slapped her ass.
Yeah, that was not a good night for him, but yes.
Now, the reason I'm saying that is because she wasn't even dressed like provocative.
I wasn't. I had on some jeans. Shirt. Yeah, I had on some jeans.
Some heels. I mean,
and they were tight jeans, but I had some jeans. Nice,
but still, it wasn't like, yo, And niggas still violated. Now, the night ain't end well. I tried to kill the dude. People stopped me back. Security came, grabbed him. I tried to choke him. Until this day, he still don't talk because I want to kill him. But he was actually a frat brother. A new frat brother in the frat. So he ain't no protocol. So I had frat brothers calling me all talking about, please, Cas, don't do nothing, blah, 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 because I was about to do something. But anyway, at the end of the day, I'm saying that because even in that night she was dressed
Yeah, I was
very
dressed modestly. I
heels,
was wearing some
blue
jeans.
jeans,
Yep,
and just a nice
and
shirt.
a nice shirt. Nothing
That's
else.
it. Nothing showing, no cleavage and nothing. I mean, that booty was looking nice, but I mean, nothing that, is out of the ordinary to think makes somebody like, and this dude knew we were together. This dude acknowledged we were together. So it wasn't like, randomly he's walking in the club and she was dancing by himself and then she stopped. I still would have wilded out on him, but I would have been as mad because like, oh, I dude didn't know. He probably thought she was single because she's by herself. All right, cool, whatever. But nigga, you knew, I'm sorry, let me not say that.
Yeah.
Brother knew that she was with me. And see, the thing is, everybody knows she's with me. If you from Orlando and you know me, and that's when he did it. Everybody freaked out because they knew, oh, shoot, that's Cas' wife. No. So everybody was freaking out because they know me. So anyway, but back to the story. But so even that situation showed me and reinforced, like, yeah, we got to be protective of our woman out here because, and like, granted, let me not say he wasn't a bad dude all over. He's not a bad dude. He's not one of these thugs out here, anything like that. He was newly in the frat. He was just feeling himself, having a good time, stuff like that. Maybe he had the alcohol in him and stuff like that. So, I give some grace. You know what I mean? Because I know he's not a horrible guy. I just don't like him just because of that anymore. But he's not one of those dudes out there where like, but that just tells you that even in those situations, something could happen. And I had to be there to protect her. You know what I'm saying? Because let's say I didn't do nothing. Maybe he would have thought, oh, I could go further. I could try for a kiss. I could try for, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I would have pushed him off, right?
I know, but
yeah, I get it. I get it.
But the thing is, you never know.
Right, yeah.
Guys, and it don't have to be the thugs out there. It's just a man.
Yeah, just regular, yep.
Understanding cues or understanding. Maybe he didn't know that was my wife and he thought that was just some chick I was kicking it with. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many things that can happen, right? That don't even, it don't have to be a thug. It don't have to be one of them hard dudes in the club. It could be some idiot just acting stupid, drunk or whatever. But at the end of the day, when I say don't dress that way, it's not because I'm insecure. It's not because I'm, oh my God, somebody's going to steal it. I ain't worried about nobody stealing my wife. I mean, be honest, they can have it because they want the bills, they want the headaches, they can have it all.
Oh, so you just going to throw me away like that to the side? Sure. Just go with the bills and everything?
They want to take the bills and the headaches?
Guys, you see, we try to keep couples together, right? Trying to keep marriages together. But you see, right? There's going to be a division here.
Oh. I'm just saying, but no, seriously, all jokes, like if like at the end of the day, it's like we need to protect. You know what I'm saying? So for us, it's like, okay, baby, I understand you want to feel sexy, you want to feel good about yourself. I get it, but in the type of environment you're going to, you know what I'm saying? That's not going to be cool, and you open the door for possible people acting like idiots. And when people sit there like, oh, I shouldn't be having to change myself for other people. Well, you do, because when you go to work, I guarantee you don't be cursing at your job like you curse at home. You don't be doing things at, with certain people in certain areas. So stop the flexing, stop it. Because at the end of the day, damn well in certain environments, you know how to conduct yourself. So if I'm telling you in that type of environment, you're going to a club or you're going to a place that's high energy with men and stuff like that, tone it down a little. You could still be sexy. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what man don't like other niggas looking at their woman saying, yo, you got a good looking woman. You know what I'm saying? That's a flex. That feels good for a man. You got something good. You know what I'm saying? So ain't about that. I love when guys be like, yo, I'm like, yeah, I know, that's me. You know what I'm saying? That's me, So at the end of the day, I have no problem with that. I just know that certain dress styles in certain places open the doors for unwanted situations.
Okay.
And I'm the type of dude where I'm going to jail for mine. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to die for mine. And a good woman will never want to put you in that position. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I just think, like I say, I agree with everything you said. I think, a conversation needs to be had. Just because, I mean, I really think it's important. It's just, another topic to kind of discuss about, hey, do you mind, let's talk about how I should be dressing, and that's on both ends. That's for you and the guy. It's just not for the women.
Yeah, your man should be
only.
wearing no
Yeah,
speedos.
they're wearing
Well,
little
I mean, if he's wearing
tight
speedos,
little
then if
speedos.
he's wearing
Well,
speedos, then
maybe
you have
yeah. I
another
mean, you got another
conversation.
problem
If
though.
he's wearing some
Yeah, I don't think it's.
speedos,
Yeah, I think it's a whole different problem.
unless he's an Olympic class swimmer,
Right. It's a
if your
whole
man's wearing a
different.
speedo,
It's a whole different type of problem. So,
unless you go into the
but
beach,
anywho,
and even then, I would say
yeah,
taking a speedo
you
to
know,
the
like
beach.
there's an eyebrows raised, like, but
Anywho.
anywho, teach his own. But yeah, I mean, I think it's an important conversation to have. And again, it's not even a tough conversation, right? It's something that's very light. It's the same, like, hey, what are you gonna have for dinner tonight? It's the same, it falls into the same category.
Yeah, definitely. So I also feel that it's also a respect thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you may not agree with it, it's like, is that really an argument to have?
Yeah.
What's it gonna hurt for you to respect your husband?
Yeah, it is respect.
I guarantee you have so many outfits in your closet.
Mm-hmm.
Like my wife has a shitload of freaking clothes, just like
Mm-hmm.
I do. So if you're telling me that this is the only outfit that you could wear tonight, that you have to wear,
Mm-hmm.
then that woman don't have respect for you. And you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, come on, how many outfits you got that you could wear instead of this one? And save that outfit for where we go out. You know what I'm saying? Save that,
Mm-hmm.
because now I'm with you. It's less likely that somebody's going to try to
Mm-hmm.
say something to you
Right,
when
yeah.
they know you on your man's arm. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I think there's compromises that could happen that people don't want to do, because in the name of I'm not being controlled.
Oh, I don't want to be controlled.
That's stupid. Like control is not a man looking out for you. And I think we get everything confused now. Control is not your man protecting you. Control is not your man advising on how you should move. You should want a man that's a leader. You should want a man that is going to lead you, and is going to lead you, the right way. But you have to allow him to do that. You can't say, be my leader, then tell him how to lead.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that. So at the end of the day, what you have to do is work with your man, understand your man. And it's okay to ask his reasoning. I think it's cool to say, baby, why you think this?
Right.
Why you don't want me to wear this outfit? What's going on with it? And so I think that's a valid question.
It is a
You know
very
what I'm saying?
valid.
But if he, because if he comes with stupid, like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying? You out here trying to look like a hoe for these, then you know what? You have a bigger problem now than just you going out sexy.
Mhm.
Now you have a trust issue with each other.
Yeah.
Like, I don't not trust my wife to dress sexy and go out. I have no fear that she would do something with somebody else. I don't. Now if she is out there in those streets, I don't know about it. And she real good. And she real good about keeping it secret. So at the end of the
I know
day,
they say women are the best at
if you
keeping
are,
secrets. I don't know.
if my wife
But
out
no.
there doing it, she is good at it, because I got access to phone, I got access to everything. So maybe she got that burner phone on the low. Maybe you know what I'm
got
saying?
that track phone.
Maybe when she say she going to work out, she got the workout people covering for her.
Yep.
She leaving her phone there. You know what I'm saying? Because track.
Yep.
I don't know.
Take that track phone
I
with
know.
me.
So she good at it. You know what I'm saying? Because them insecure guys, like, I can't waste my time worrying about what you're doing. Like, that's a waste of time. Like, if a woman's gonna do something, she gonna do something regardless.
Exactly. And I don't think, her outfit or anything. But then it does bring to a good point. I did see this thing the other day where and it had to do with, with women and cheating. And so they were saying that in a survey that was conducted with over, I think, 5,000 married women, married couples and stuff, and they asked a woman if they ever cheated, and it's crazy, but they say 30%? It was 30% of those women say they have cheated,
Lies.
and their significant other does not know.
It's double that.
And so they're like, and then they went down to, well, the body counts, and so then they kind of say, well, women who have a high body count were the statistic saying that they, had the high percent of cheating. I'm like, what?
Well, I mean, think of it like this, okay? I think if you got with a woman that has a high body count, meaning she's had sex with a lot of men, all right? If you're insecure about her, you shouldn't be with her.
Right? Yeah.
Now I'm not judging any man you date and be with who you want to be
Mhm.
with at the end of the day, and that's fine. But if you meet a woman, she said she done had 40 guys, right? Understand, dog, that you probably ain't gonna be the best she ever had.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you think you doing your thing, there was some other
There's
dude that
somebody
probably tore it
else.
up more. So you better just hope that she loves you enough that the love she has for you overwrites all that dick she done had.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And you have no right to be insecure because at the end of the day, you knew what you was getting.
Yep, exactly.
You was getting it's like getting a used car that has 100,000
Mhm.
miles. You already know there's going to be some problem
At some
with
point,
it.
it's gonna run out.
So either you buy it and you say, I'm going to deal with it, or you say, nah, I'm going to
Mhm.
move something with lower mileage. So at the end of the day, don't sit there and be insecure because you know your woman was out there. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying that it's right, nor am I agree with that. I don't think any man should be with a woman with a high body count. That's just my
Well,
personal
I
opinion.
mean,
My personal opinion. But if that's what you choose to do,
maybe that was just her life, and she changed, right? I mean, people change. I mean, and
You
we could
can't-
say the same argument for guys,
you
right?
can't change how that 12-inch dick that was in your gut
Okay,
felt.
but we could say the same for guys. The guys who had, 40 plus women. I mean, really.
All right, but let's be honest. There's no, I don't care what there's no difference when it comes to a
Mhm.
man having sex compared to a woman. Like at the end of the day, a man can have 100 women, and you know what's the same result every time?
And what is that
That
result?
nut. That's it. So at the end of the day, when a woman has sex with 100 guys, different sizes, different
Oh, my
positions,
goodness.
different orgasms, different places inside you would hit.
Mhm.
All this stuff is different. Every guy is different to a girl.
Mhm.
A guy, every girl is different. Every guy is different to a girl.
Mhm.
Every girl is the same.
Is the same for
Only
a
the
man.
emotions and the connections different. But at the end of the day, it's the same result. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like it's the same feeling. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
good, you know what I'm saying? Like in our head, we may say, "Oh," but in general,
It's the same. Well,
not really different. You know what I'm saying? But with women,
Mhm.
it's completely different experiences.
Well, and counselors and the gurus out there will say, well, you're not really sleeping, with 100. You have to triple that because the men that they don't sleep with or women they slept with, and,
I don't believe
and
it.
triple.
I don't believe
so
that.
it's
If you
really,
ain't- if you ain't get no
it's
diseases,
really
you're
an
fine.
infinite number.
If you ain't get no disease, you're fine. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna be insecure so
Oh,
much
man.
your woman's dressed
Mhm.
out, you know what I'm saying, because of her body count or because of you don't trust her,
Mhm.
then you shouldn't be with
Yeah,
her.
I think that's a whole completely
Yeah, you should-
different
Yeah,
conversation.
you shouldn't be with her if your
Mhm.
insecurity, like, oh, she dresses too
Yeah,
sexy.
because she dresses so sexy,
That-
she's
that-
trying to
yeah,
get out
then
there.
you shouldn't be with her. You should really not. You should choose better because
Mhm.
I think a lot of times people don't choose well. Then when they get somebody that has flaws or issues, they use that against them
Mhm.
rather than understand where you picked them. If you didn't know, if you was with a girl, she told you had 3 guys. You're like, all right,
Mhm.
cool. Then all of a sudden you find out she had 85.
Right.
Okay. I get
Yeah, I
that.
mean that's
You know what I'm saying?
that's
Now you have a liar.
yeah, that's
But
a big
if you know this girl, she tells she's honest to you about her past and what she's done, and understand you gotta overcome those
yeah,
insecurities.
and that's just part of it, right? You gotta build the trust and everything, and so you guys gotta put in the work.
like don't complain. Like if you meet a woman, if you get a girl with 4 kids,
Mhm.
don't complain.
Yeah, you can't sit here and complain.
Like-
You pick them. You
Like,
can't complain.
That's what I'm saying. You pick. See, like I said, I don't like the red pill stuff that goes around bashing
Mhm.
women. It's like, yeah, there's some real fucked up women out there, and it's right.
Yeah,
So simply just don't pick them.
exactly.
But obviously somebody's picking them, and these chicks keep having babies.
And just don't, and don't sit here and keep arguing with them for, picking someone that you already knew.
And don't argue with a chick
That
that
makes
got
no
4
sense.
kids or 5 kids
Yeah.
off a high bike. Why argue? Just keep. See, that's why I think all those
makes no
things are
sense.
really ridiculous. Because why argue
Mm-hmm.
about a person's situation?
Right.
Like it's not going to change it.
It's not.
It's not like the girl with 4 baby daddies. If you school her, on
Right. It's
how
not
she
like
was
she's
wrong,
gonna.
It's going to change.
She's not gonna give up her 4 kids.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna have the 4 kids or 4 baby
Yeah.
daddies. So there's no reason of trying to educate
To
a
argue
woman
or anything.
when she's already in the situation that can't change.
Exactly.
So that's why I think people are so interested in that, blah, blah, blah. Like, hey. And then the women that get mad, well, why you can't date a mother, single, blah, blah. Are you a single mother? No. Then It's not
then
your concern.
it's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant to you. So why are you arguing about it? If a man don't want to date a single mother, or a woman don't want to date a guy
or a guy with kids, that's their choice.
Point. There's no, I shouldn't be arguing unless I'm in that situation.
Yeah, that's their choice.
And then the women that do have all these problems and issues and stuff like that, and men as well, don't argue with people to say accept me for all my issues. Find somebody that will accept. Don't try to argue with with people that say what you did is wrong. That's like being a Christian and arguing with a Satanist because they don't like you being a Christian. Are you gonna really entertain that argument? No, you're gonna be like, well, believe what you want to believe. I'm believing the Lord.
Exactly.
And you keep it moving. You're not gonna go back and forth and entertain a conversation that makes no sense. So the same thing, if you're in a relationship and your woman's dressed as sexy and you feel insecure about it because you know of her past, or you're afraid.
Right, you're afraid she's going to leave and run to the next.
Then don't be with that woman. Move on to somebody else that you can feel secure with. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell you to change your mind, to change who you are. But, this woman, regardless of whether she has the high body count
or not,
she may find a dude that'll be okay with it.
Exactly.
There are a lot of simps out there in the world. Oh,
but wait. So now, okay. See, now we're going into more. Right, we gotta end the show anyways.
Yeah,
but
so at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like if your man is asking you to change, make sure it's from a place of protecting you.
Yes, and understanding. And you just have to understand.
Exactly. If he's insecure about it because he thinks of what you may do, then you have a trust issue now, and that's a whole nother thing. You need to really evaluate that relationship because now he doesn't trust you. All right. Any last words, baby?
No, I mean, I completely agree with everything we said. It's all about, respecting one another, respecting your choices, your decisions, and coming together and making things happen.
Great. All right, guys. Well, appreciate you for another session of Divorce Not an Option. Go to the website, divorcenotoption.com. You can check us out, everything. You can go to our critics page, couplecritics.com. Definitely check that out. You can definitely pick up
products,
culture,
our book.
Skin, and the book, Men Are Meant to Be Broken, is out now on Amazon.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Until next time.
Bye.